What is up, guys? Nate here. First of all, I'd like to apologize. Again, I feel like it's been forever since I've done a video. With school and everything right now, it's been absolutely chaotic over there. So I have some good news, I have some sort of bad news, and then I have some pretty bad news. So the good news is that I did end up getting some footage of the Deuce and a half. We ended up taking it out, what was it, Saturday? And yeah, so I ended up getting a little bit of footage of that. Like I said, I didn't get a whole lot. But I did get some, and I'll get to the bad news here in a little bit. So first of all, let's go ahead and show you that Deuce and a half footage. So that looks great, you know, the truck started up fine, was running great, and the reason we took it out was to go pick some stuff up from my grandpa's house. So before we did that, you know, the gas gauge said we had, I think, about half a tank to 3/4 of a tank, but we said, you know, let's go fill it up, you know, just to be safe, because, you know, those gauges are not known for being very accurate. So we went to the Kroger gas station and got out, filled it up, and got back in, and yeah, we had nothing. So we had the electronics on, all the electronics were working, you know, the gauges popped on, the fuel pump was running, but as soon as you would hit the start button, nothing. You know, you heard a little bit of a click, you know, that's just from the button clicking, but nothing with the starter. So we figured, you know, well, the starter probably took shit. So first thing we did was go ahead and call a hook, and the problem was it was Saturday, so every single commercial towing business was closed, except for one, which is actually the one that we usually use. And we called him up, and he suggested instead of towing it straight to the shop, what we would do is go ahead and he would come out and try to pull start it, because it is, you know, a diesel, and Deuce and a halves are very easy to pull start. So he went ahead and he brought his truck down. Really nice guy. And of course, you know, they weren't even really open on Saturday. He just happened to be in the shop. So he came down on his own time. They brought the truck down, and he just started. And he said, you know, have you tried hitting the starter with a hammer? You know, just try tapping on it, because you know, if you tap on the starter, sometimes that'll loosen something up, whatever came loose, and it'll start back up. We tried that, and unfortunately, nothing happened. and he was just about to go grab the rope or chain to start pull starting it, and he had a phone call from his buddy, and he answered the phone and said, I want you to come out here. This is going to be just your cup of tea. And he hung up, and he said, my buddy's going to come over, and he knows more about these trucks than we do. We're like, oh yeah? And he's like, yeah, he was in Vietnam, and that's what he did in Vietnam, is he worked on Deuce and a half. So, we were like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So, we already had the hood open because we were looking to try to figure out where everything was at. And the guy came up in his truck, just said hello, climbed up under the hood, pulled the screwdriver out, and he said, yeah, can you turn the ignition on? And we said, yeah, turn the ignition on, poke something with a screwdriver, and it starts right up. So it made us look all like idiots, but he got it started. And what we found out to be the culprit was that the solenoid, the starter solenoid went out, and he was able to jump it with a screwdriver, and got it running, got it over to the shop, and that is where it is now. All right, so unfortunately, I'm sorry about that glare there. Unfortunately, we do not have the Deuce and a half right now. Like I said, it is at the shop. We should hopefully have it back in about a week or so, depending on when we do get the part in. But the stuff that's going on in the garage here, that, by the way, is the bad thing for the Deuce and a half, is the fact that it is in the shop. The sort of bad news is that, and like I said, this isn't really bad news. This is kind of bad news for you guys, but my uncle decided to take the MG. So unfortunately, it will not be staying here. That will be going to his house. So yeah, the MG is going to be leaving, unfortunately. I know I get a lot of views for the MG, and it really is just a cool car. It's amazing. We always say that whenever we go to the car shows, you'll have this Willie sitting here, with 392 Hemi with an 871 blower sticking out of the hood, the huge meat tires on the back, just awesome looking car. And you'll get 3 times the amount of people looking at this thing. And it's hilarious because, this car is rough, it's anything but perfect condition. It's a driver, and Grandpa and I used to drive this thing all around. We had, I don't even know, because the odometer went out at, about 34,000 miles, and that was probably when they restored it. But, yeah, unfortunately, like I said, he will be taking it. That's not a big deal. It's just kind of a bad thing for you guys, because I know you guys liked a lot of videos on the MG. So that will be going to him. And some more bad news is obviously the car cover is on the Camaro, which, by the way, we got from Summit. But, yeah, so the car cover is on the Camaro. That is done for the winter. We got the insurance off of it. But the good news is, this is mod season. So, I do have, now I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do to it. I was talking about doing long tube headers, and I decided to probably go with Texas Speed Performance instead, just because it is a bigger brand name, and they're more, have more quality to them. But the problem with that is that they're pretty expensive. I'm thinking about going catless, just because I've heard people that they go with high flow cats, and they end up blowing them out, and they get stuck in the exhaust, and then you got to get new ones, and you got to tear the exhaust apart to get them out. And I just figured, why not just get, it's probably only 1 or 2 horsepower difference, but, why not get that little bit extra horsepower and also sound, because I've seen a lot of exhaust video clips with the high flow cats on them, and as soon as it goes down to idle, it sounds stock. You can't hear the grumble, and that's what I really wanted to do with the exhaust on the Camaro, is do something that when it is sitting at idle, when I'm sitting at a stoplight or in my driveway, I can hear it, compared to right now where it's basically just silent. So yeah, I'm figuring out whether to do the headers, because the headers would be about 500 some bucks, maybe 530. But the problem with that is then I have to get a tune, and I'm not sure whether, because I'm looking at Livernoise, they're up here in Michigan, which is not too far away, but I'd like to do a dyno tune. I know that's the right thing to do, and it's probably a better idea just to drive up there than, either way, because, I really don't know what I'm doing, so, with the handheld tuner. So, yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do with that, because then I'd be in the hole probably 12 grand, about 12 grand, 1,200, oh my god, 1,200 bucks, which is still a lot of money for me. So I've been thinking about other options, And my other thought was going back to the lowering springs. If I pull the skirt up here a little bit, you can't see it. Damn it. This is why I hate car covers, because you can't see anything. But I was thinking about lowering springs for this. There we go. Because as you can see, you have a huge wheel gap. It's probably about a 1.5 to 2 inch wheel gap. Looks like a four-wheeler. And I was thinking about doing a 1-inch drop from Hotchkiss. That, because it is convertible, they say that, you know, the convertible does drop down about maybe 0.4 inches more. So if I do end up going with a 1-inch drop, it'll probably go down about 1.4, which would look awesome. So I'm not sure whether to do the lowering springs now, you know, just to be on the safe side and then do headers later, or if I should just go ahead and pull the trigger on the headers now and save up for a long while to do something else. So why don't you guys go down in the comments and let me know whether you think I should do the lowering springs or the headers. Like I said, I probably would like to do headers, but just right now with budget and everything, the lowering springs may be a better option. Anyway, by the way, my voice is all screwed up is because I'm sick and I'm trying to get over that as well. So, you know, everything's just hunky-dory over here. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for this video. I will update you guys when we do get the Deuce and a half back. Like I said, I'm not sure when we're going to get it back. We haven't heard yet. It all depends on when they can get the part in and get it installed. So anyway, I think that's going to do it. Please make sure to go down in the comment section and please comment a suggestion for a video, what you guys want to see, whether it's the Willys, the MG, the Camaro, the El Camino, the Deuce and a half. Just let me know what you guys want to see so I can do my best to go ahead and make it. Also, if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and put them down there. Sorry about the glare. And also make sure to like and subscribe to the channel to see some more. And go check out my Instagram at @thecar_kid. And I think that's going to do it. Thanks, guys. Have a great holiday.